Welcome to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room, starring Antone Davis, Rocky DiStefano, Delano Williams, and Phil Anthony. Fantasy football, real results.
What's up and welcome to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. I'm your host, Delano Williams, and today is January 21st, 2021. And we have...
What episode are we in?
I do believe it's 19?
Yeah, well, 18, but
18.
still, that's still pretty amazing.
18.
That's pretty good for starting halfway through the season, too.
Yeah.
Work out all the kinks and start off next year fresh.
That's exactly, right?
Starting off fresh with two big games this weekend.
We are. But let's first, can we talk about, because you were going to mention something, and I think we should talk about this.
How are we doing this, guys? How are we doing this? This? You guys know what it is. It is the 2021 Harry Styles Weight Loss Challenge. Lose 145 pounds collectively. But we had a guest call in last week. And he kind of got us. And
he put a challenge out that should have motivated me more than apparently it's doing. So how are we doing with our weight loss? Did you lose any weight? I know you were 7 pounds.
Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm already, so losing much more.
So you're already.
It would actually, I probably gained.
You gained
like
it back,
4 pounds,
didn't you? You gained it back.
Or so.
I kind of felt like you were also calling us fat. You were like, unlike you guys.
No, I don't know how else to.
I kind of caught that vibe too.
Yeah.
Well,
last week I was blatantly closer. This week.
You want me to lose 50 pounds?
I have a little extra.
You want me to lose? You guys want me to lose 50 pounds?
I do. Just for that comment.
For a movie. I'll do it for a movie.
Yeah.
I'll do it for a movie.
I should lose weight during the show with all this room. I can blatantly do calisthenics in here.
Well, the elf, our elf is on the shelf this episode. So,
hey, they played a valiant game. Valiantly.
Valiantly.
What do you think?
Well,
you guys didn't think so?
Well, I thought, yeah.
Be honest. Oh,
did we transition Elf to Cleveland?
No. Well, yeah, I think he
did.
Transitioned Elf to Cleveland. I was talking about our elf, Phil, who's normally in between us.
Oh, man. He is on the...
Our elf is on the shelf.
Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that either.
But we called him Elf a lot.
To be fair, it was while you were losing your 7 pounds.
Do you rub that elf too, or?
No, Mark does when they have their conversations in the driveway.
And here, I'm forced to. We basically sit on one another's laps during the podcast.
Yeah, Phil is out.
We miss Phil.
But
we miss Phil.
Well, how about we do this right here? Yeah. We actually have a low-calorie IPA.
So let's pop one.
Which Gabby got with you in mind, Phil.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to drop some on the floor in honor of Phil. I'm going to spill some on the carpet.
I wish we were able
on
to
the
take
table.
that back. Oh, yeah, just
let me tell you what.
All out on the
he's
carpet
always
and leave
spilling
it
crap. And I'm OCD, so I can't leave a spill during the show. I can't.
And you had to.
So I'm wiping it up with paper. I'm trying, but he's just a messy guy.
He kind of just watched it soak into the carpet, just foaming.
Wow. It's pretty hoppy.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
But it's light. I don't know. That's a conundrum. I don't even understand how
that
IPA is light like that. Good pick. Again.
95 calories. And this is dogfish head.
Dogfish head
Slightly mighty.
Straight out of Delaware.
Slightly mighty. So
I can understand
that's up in Anton's neck of the woods.
That's right.
Up in Delaware.
So this is gonna help me lose weight. I lost 2 pounds. So I'm up to about 6. I know, Mark, you lost some weight.
Yeah, I tripled down from the last time. Last week I was feeling bad, only losing 1 pound. I wasn't pulling my weight, so to speak, and I was like, you know what? I've got to. You like that?
I like that.
Yeah. I've been working on them all week. So I tripled down. I'm down 3 whole pounds now. 2 weeks into this thing.
Only 47 more to go.
I tried. So I tried this gym thing that all you guys were talking about. Oh. And I've got to be honest. He was not happy with me when I went knocking on his door at 5 a.m. to use his treadmill. Oh. He was super pissed. He was like,
Jim a neighbor.
He was like, get out of here. What are you doing? He had no idea. So I don't think he was one of our 111 followers. So he didn't care that I was there.
So Delano, you gained a little bit back, but that's okay because you're still in the game. You're about probably 5 pounds into your 15 pounds.
I would say.
Gabby, I know. How did
We're
you do?
not talking about me.
Yeah. So
this week.
That's a sure sign that Gabby stayed even, which is good.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
It's all right because you were pulling the cart though.
Yeah,
us.
actually.
I mean, you were
good motivation.
Here's the thing. We've got a whole year.
Yes.
So it's a marathon. Okay?
And we're using
That's
that
true.
strategy as I'm thinking about ordering pizza tonight, right now, as we're talking about
I'll
the weight
actually
loss.
take some of that pasta that you're
not
talking
stressing.
about.
I'm not getting discouraged. I'm not stressing. I'm not no negative vibes out there. You know, we're healthy. We're staying on track.
We're getting healthy.
And we're going to see what happens.
We'll see.
Phil lost another pound, so he's up to 4.
And he's
4.5.
sick right now, so he's probably
And
going
he's
to.
sick,
Yeah.
depending on what kind of sick
Imagine he just comes back my size. Could you imagine?
No.
No, you couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
No.
You'd have to grow.
Is it like
a little
6
taller.
months from now?
I think he could do it. Hey, use this, Phil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Turn it around.
I tell you, this is a little bit embarrassing because I am losing weight and I have been working out with Jim a little bit. I'm not like, I think it shows how bad I was eating previously that I'm losing weight, making the few minor changes that I've made.
Healthy choices.
Yeah. I mean, I've made some healthy, but I think it really speaks to my body had given up because of the 26, 28, Totino's pizza rolls.
It's only 15 pizza rolls.
No, so I cut out pizza rolls. I'm clean now, clean a week.
Cold turkey?
Yeah.
Wow.
I may have been watching my 600
1 week
pound,
sober, everybody.
I know, right? I may have been watching my 600-pound life.
That's why the beard's coming in. He needed something else to do.
While eating ice cream.
Those are good motivations.
I may have said, I'm not as bad as that person. I'm okay. Give me
another scoop.
Give me the double cookies and cream.
See, I starved all day yesterday.
Oh man, to try to lose.
No, not to try to lose weight. I didn't get time to eat, and I was just doing stuff, and I was like, I'm not super hungry, so I'm not going to eat anything. And then by the time it became nighttime, I was like, I want something sweet, so I ate ice cream. I was like, you know what? I still got calories.
Yeah.
You guys don't do this to me because the worst thing
Ice cream for
right now is I'm lactose, so ice cream, I think it made me lactose intolerant. I used to eat so much of it. I think I would eat.
Yeah, you forced your
so
body to
much
be. Your body had to
that
give
it was
up.
like I can't break down this milk anymore.
Does
And
lactate
now
not make an ice cream? I'd
They
imagine it's
do.
probably
They do.
terrible.
No,
though.
it's actually not. And you guys should just.
What does it cost? $12-13 of.
Here's the thing. I've gotten to the point where it doesn't even matter. You can give me.
Oh, even that.
Even that'll.
Oh, wow.
So you guys, I hate you all.
Yeah.
That enjoy the ice cream right now because
What would he do for a Klondike bar? Am I right?
Wow, that's real. That's actually real. And I tell you, I'd drop this challenge for one.
So
Just kidding.
I did see Shawnee Blackburn, and we're going to talk about Shawnee later on in our pick section. But Shawnee is keeping true to his word. He does appear to be gaining weight a little bit. I mean, he's not, going crazy.
We don't count him, okay?
Well, he says he's going to gain 15 pounds, and we have to counteract his addition.
That's too easy, though.
So that means we have to lose 169.
No,
That's
if you're
still
trying
doable.
to
We're
gain
gonna do
weight,
it.
then you don't get to be part of this.
Oh,
It's
but-
the weight loss challenge, not the weight gain challenge.
You think this guy is doing that?
I don't think Shawnee.
No.
I think Sean is joking about trying to gain weight.
I don't think he.
I don't know.
Also, Jared King kind of cried uncle, that communist. And now
About
he says
what?
he's losing weight, but he doesn't want to be added in.
Fine, then.
And it's because of Ralph's challenge. Ralph, thanks. So Ralph gave us a challenge that we have to wear tighty shirts.
Oh yeah.
As Phil says, swim
no,
shirts.
shirtless.
And
Shirtless,
Jared
but-
pulled
No,
out.
it was swim shirts. I made sure to clarify. We
Rash
got
guards.
it
We're
on tape.
allowed. We're
So
allowed
you
rash
guys
guards.
are going
It
with
could be
because
tight shirts
he didn't
or
mind.
shirtless.
We're going to be up here looking like the Beach Boys when it's time
he
to weigh
didn't
in at the end
mind
of
being
this.
shirtless.
I'm
Was that
excluded
correct?
from that.
Yeah, Ralph is, I think, somewhat built.
That's what he said. Ralph, are you built?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Send
how much weight has Sean gained?
I don't know, but we met at a restaurant, and he seemed to be eating with, conviction, seemed to be drinking and eating with the goal of gaining weight.
So is he just
Doesn't
eating whatever?
Yeah.
So he can gain weight in the bad way.
Oh, I don't know what he's doing. He's expecting his
See, that's
first
why.
child. He's
Hey,
just,
you don't count. You can't count. There's no.
Yeah, we're not counting Sean's
Don't count.
addition.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, this is-
you have to expect it. He's a Cowboys fan, right? They find all of their happiness in everybody else's pain, I think.
That's very true, and their own pain. All right, why don't we talk a little bit about the games last week, because they were a set of interesting games.
They were.
games.
So let's start. I mean, let's go right down the list and start with that first game on Saturday, the Rams and Green Bay game. To me, out of all of the games, I think this one was probably the most humdrum game. Right? I mean, I was expecting Green Bay to do what Green Bay did ultimately, which was almost double up the Rams. Rams offense just, I don't know.
Laid an egg, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I mean, I don't think Kupp played. Goff didn't look good. Green Bay was able to kind of contain Akers, and Green Bay's offense was still, running on all cylinders.
This was an interesting game because it was the number one offense in the NFL versus a number one defense. And typically when you have those matches, the defense normally comes out ahead.
Defense wins championships usually.
Rodgers and the Packers seem dialed in.
Oh yeah,
That's
scary
all I'll say.
dialed in.
They've been like that the entire game, and I think they snuck their way at least halfway through the season. I'd say probably around week 13, 12, 13. I remember going to Buffalo's and watching their game, just outright watching their game, and I don't remember them pulling anything. They were barely winning, barely coming over the hump, but after that, they were dialed in the entire time.
Yeah.
And the record shows it. It's amazing to...
Let's think about how this season started with Green Bay too. In the draft, they didn't address any questions with getting Devontae Adams any help. And
No, they drafted a quarterback to piss off Rodgers,
and
which
I mean, Rodgers was already pissed, and then they go and they draft a quarterback.
may have
and-
been the best strategy because
Yeah.
they're like, he's like, F you, I'll show you.
And he's
I
like, I
had the
can
best
just-
season of my life.
Yeah.
I can do it with
Right.
anything. And again,
Right.
I mean, I don't like Green Bay as a Bears fan. It's in my blood to hate Green Bay, and therefore I hate Aaron Rodgers, even though he's a likable guy.
I like Aaron. I can't help liking.
You could not, and it's great to see at this time, and it's funny because I think I've seen a meme about it, or at least some people talking about it. We have Brady older, we had Drew older, we had right now we're looking at
Rodgers is 37
right
yeah.
now, and he's playing, like you said, one of the best seasons of his life right now.
Yeah.
And these guys are
Playoffs is very old,
very old,
And
very young.
very young.
Yep.
Opposite ends.
Yep, especially the championship games where you have Allen and Mahomes, who are two of the younger quarterbacks, against Rodgers and Brady, two of the older.
And Allen and Mahomes beat Mayfield and Jackson. I mean,
Right.
are there 4 younger quarterbacks in the league that really are leading championship style
Yeah.
offenses?
Yep.
And no, I mean, the AFC is just young
Chock
compared
full.
to, I mean,
What do you guys think? And I know just as like a little bit of a switch, what are these teams missing, right? We're going to do this with every game recap. So when you think about the Rams or you think about the Green Bay Packers, what are they missing going into next year? And we don't really know if we can say Green Bay's missing because they might win it all.
Right.
But,
the Rams are missing Aaron Rodgers is what the Rams are missing.
They're missing a quarterback.
They're missing they're missing, not that I don't think Goff is serviceable. He has obviously been in the past. He got them, into the Super Bowl the one year, but he's not that field general that you're looking for with the 3 other guys in the
Right.
NFC that were alive.
Yep.
Rodgers, Breeze, Brady. You're not going to put Goff in that
Not
conversation
at all.
ever. You know what I mean?
Ever.
I think you might have after that Super Bowl season with the Rams.
If he had
But
won,
since then, or even if he didn't win, I think we were still talking about him as if maybe. I think what we've seen is he's not.
I don't think he's ever shown outside of that or before that he would be relatively close to that. Great, he had a great season, but there's a chance that, saying going into the next year, he flop, just like he is now. And I mean, well, I actually can't say that because look where he's at right now, and they just lost that game. But
Yeah, but he still got
He's
him
still
there.
But again, it's the defense. I mean, that was the number 1 ranked defense. That defense was incredible.
Well, that was what was amazing. Even with the number 1 ranked defense, they killed them.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even that close.
And they survived an extra week, more so than Washington, who was also, same style, incredible defense. no leadership at quarterback, so therefore the offense is not the greatest. And once you come to playoff time, I know defense wins championships, but your offense still has to put points on the board.
Right. Especially someone with, like Aaron Rodgers, for sure.
Yeah, and we saw that in the next game that we're going to talk about, Baltimore-Buffalo. You saw that Lamar's I don't know. It's immaturity in the passing game, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't, because he's athletic. Is he athletic? Check. Can he? Does he have a strong arm? Check. Can he read a defense? I don't think so.
Yeah,
is he accurate? I don't think so.
Yep.
But if the game's close enough where he can run and win it with his legs.
Yeah, he'll take what's given to him in that moment.
Right, and I think that gets you somewhere.
Right.
But it hasn't gotten him
there.
They haven't made the Super Bowl with him yet. They've had their opportunities. I just think he doesn't have a command of the offense yet. He's just the best athlete on the field most weeks.
And he can throw the ball very well.
He can throw it very far.
Yeah.
He's very strong, but he's not as accurate as I'd like to see him. Because what's
That's
becoming clear, Marquise is a receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Is a bona fide receiver who's underused in that offense. Yeah. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Bus, they are good running backs.
Right.
The line is pretty solid. So when I look at Baltimore, what are they missing? I think they're missing Russell Wilson compared to Lamar Jackson. Like, if you put Russell Wilson on that offense, it could be very different.
Well, I'll tell you, what he's missing is his counterpart. Josh Allen is Lamar Jackson 2.1 or 3.0, whatever you want to call him. So, again, and it might not be a popular opinion because Allen is super, super mobile. The guy can run. He's elusive, and he's big. Is he as athletic as Lamar Jackson? No. But can he win games with his legs just like Lamar can? Absolutely. The difference is that with that same strong arm that Lamar has, Josh is more accurate.
That's a great comparison.
And he learned, which he did something that they've said you can't do.
Right.
They've always said you can't teach quarterbacks to be accurate. He came out wild. And he's put the work in. He is an accurate passer now.
Wow.
So I think you then have to challenge, is Lamar a learner? Is he somebody who's putting in the work?
Or is he going to be the Michael Vick?
That's what I want to know. Yeah. And he's not only Michael Vick. There's a long line of quarterbacks that had the capabilities but wouldn't put the work in. And I'll put Johnny Manziel there too. Johnny Manziel set the SEC on fire. Johnny Manziel was a knucklehead who didn't want to learn, who knew it all, who wouldn't adapt, who wouldn't put the effort in to become a bona fide quarterback. And it was his undoing, that and probably cocaine off hookers. But, those two things.
They got to start somewhere.
And it's funny, Manziel, you see one Manziel, I feel like every 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy that's he's got the keys to the NFL. They say, here you go, drive, and right off the road and into a tree.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Is Buffalo missing anything?
A run game.
Yeah.
I think they need
Zach Moss and Singletary are good.
I would put them even below good. I don't know. I don't think that
they don't stand out, and I don't think like you guys, like Dobbins and those. I don't find him to be on that level. And I'm sorry, I might be comparing him to a Saquon Barkley pre-injury.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're talking about Dobbins,
or just you need that type of running back to. You know what I mean? You got to find that
teams,
piece.
though. You think about like how many teams
have someone
have
like
a
him?
Saquon.
Well, it's not that, but there's a lot of teams that have those dependable running backs where you give that guy the ball, he's going to pick up those yards. I don't think Dobbins is. Don't get me wrong, he's not horrible. I definitely would take him on my team, but to really secure the deal on Buffalo, to really have them, they need a running back, and I'm not saying. Like Saquon Barkley, I'm saying a dependable running back. He's going to pick up at least the yards you give him to him.
That's a good point. You need dependability, and Singletary he's athletic and he can catch. And there's always a reason. So if a guy's got the tools on paper that you would think you'd want to see in a system like Buffalo, why isn't he producing? So that's the question I ask myself. Why isn't he producing when he's got the skills and he's in probably a perfect place to showcase those skills, and he doesn't?
Yeah.
Which means that he's either not putting in the work, he's probably he could be a crappy blocker.
Comfortable.
Why isn't he? Yeah,
comfort. Yeah.
Because like you're saying, he's in a great place for that. If Allen can run when he has,
when
those
you have a running
opportunities,
quarterback, it helps a running back.
that's what I'm saying.
They
So
have to. They have
like
to.
you put a Saquon on Buffalo, and my pick coming up later probably changes.
right.
Because at that point, Buffalo's got it all. They've got a defense. They've got an offense that can put points on the board. They have an accurate quarterback.
A mobile
They have
quarterback.
Great wide receivers, and then you throw in a dynamic running back, and I don't know.
I don't think he
Kansas
has
City
to
beats
be-
Buffalo for the next 6 years.
Like-
I don't know.
You put a Camaro on the team of Buffalo. I don't think that's the same level. I'm sorry, as like a Saquon like that. But Saquon definitely has his.
I think you've got a very high opinion of Saquon.
So do I.
Well, I'm just
Camaro-
saying.
You're going to
I-
compare him to Kamara.
And I'm just, what I'm saying is, when we look at running backs, you put those guys up there. Would you not put Saquon up there when you're talking running backs without the injury? You would, right? That's what I'm saying. And then, unfortunately, he's on the Giants, and I'm a Giants fan.
To your point, yes.
What I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with Kamara, but you don't put him on that same
I mean, you
echelon
don't put
of
him.
running backs.
Yeah, I do.
You
put him-
would.
Yeah, I put him there. And I'll be honest with you. I think there's developing running backs, so I expect next year for Dobbins and Jonathan Taylor to really begin to distance themselves from other running backs,
Right.
And Swift, too.
and Swift and Cam Akers. I think
Yeah.
it's a good
Really, Akers?
period. I think Akers, if you look at his last 4 games, he began to show what he's capable of if he's given the ball.
Yeah, he was a little bit more injured in the beginning of the year
Yeah,
than
that's
they,
true.
they
That's
let
true.
on.
That's true.
They didn't let on to exactly what he was dealing with. Just like with Michael Thomas. Had I known what Michael Thomas was really dealing with going into the playoffs, I would have never put him on
crazy.
on any of my postseason fantasy teams.
Yeah, he was.
He needs surgery
But
on
he's
both
still-
knees.
He
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
to not be playing. It was a mistake to play him.
To do that.
Yeah. So, what about America's team, the Cleveland Browns?
Dallas? Oh, not
How
Dallas.
dare you? The Cleveland Browns versus
How
KC.
dare you?
See, not just because I'm a Browns fan. The 2 games prior were uneventful. They were kind of boring. I hate
were.
to say it. I think the KC Browns game is what you consider to be a classic playoff game,
Yeah.
especially when Mahomes went out.
That's what I
Yes.
was going to say. I think it turned into a classic playoff game when Mahomes went out.
Yeah.
Because it did look like Kansas City was in the driver's seat the entire time. And then when he went out,
Off a very bad penalty, though, or a very bad non-called penalty.
yeah, which we should talk. That is the worst. That's the worst rule in the NFL, I think.
Both
For
of the
a team
rules
to
are
get-
terrible. Like,
For a team to get penalized when they fumble through the end zone and to give up possession
Yeah.
as if it's a kickoff touchback to the defense,
yeah,
I don't agree with that. I would like to know the reason for that.
it's a
rule.
terrible call. And now Stefanski did say rule number 1 in the Browns book is you don't try to extend the ball.
Right.
Has he talked to Baker about that then?
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't think Baker's gotten that
Yeah.
memo. I think
Yeah.
he's skipping those meetings.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too. But he didn't want to blame it on that. But if that doesn't happen, they score on that play. They go into halftime 10-16,
Yeah.
and they get the ball for a second half. And it could be a completely different situation. But it was a fun game. I when Baker threw the interception to start the second half, I thought it was over. But the defense kind of showed up.
Yeah, they
I mean,
did.
the defense held KC to 22 points.
Yeah.
And no matter what, that was pretty impressive because the
And you
Browns are
lost.
Swiss cheese.
And you lost.
Yeah,
You know,
Myles
for a
Garrett.
minute, but they played him when they needed him, and
But he was
showed
hurt.
up.
He was hurt. He will probably have to have surgery on his oblique. He was in pain.
Who?
Yeah, but
Myles Garrett.
they still
Oh,
played
yeah.
him. They still
Yeah.
played him, and he showed out big.
they
in
played
the
him on-
moment, but even though
He
they,
looked like he had to poop that entire game.
Yeah.
He
oh
just
man,
Yeah, they played him on a very clear rushing the quarterback.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And he actually got a sack on Henne.
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He really-
Speaking of Henne, let's talk about Henne for a second.
That's it right there. That's
Oh,
the conversation.
Man, what guts at the end of the game. He pulls
run
it
him.
down.
He did.
I actually thought in real time that he secured that first down, but then when they played it back, he was definitely short.
it didn't
But
matter that he didn't. It was clear what was going to happen.
the ball's on Henne to do that. That was, and then
Henne and
then-
Reed. Like I'm going to tell you what I admire about Reed. And we think about it. The Eagles are a terrible team, and here's why. First of all, they fired Reed. Let's start with that.
Should have kept Fat Andy in town.
Yeah, and I don't think they made a better decision with Peterson.
No, not
I'm going
at
to be
all.
honest with you.
Not at all.
Somebody will hire Peterson. He's 3 years removed from a Super Bowl.
Lightning in a bottle.
Reed didn't change the offensive plan
No.
with Henne. He didn't. It was
Not
great.
at all. It was. He took a page out of Bill Belichick's book.
Yep.
It was next man up.
Yep. This
And-
is our quarterback.
It is.
We run the same offense.
And I mean, but think about it. Why shouldn't you? I mean, that's why you go through
Especially
your
against
Build
training
the
the
team
camps.
and build a team.
That's why you go through, practice all week long.
Yeah.
You're not just playing games, because you have to be as confident with your backup quarterback as you are with your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
That's how you
And,
build a team.
And against the Browns with a hurt Myles Garrett, Olivia Vernon, who was actually out with a torn ACL,
Right.
there was no need to change the offense, no matter who the quarterback was.
Yeah, and I mean, when they came out for that formation, everyone was like, they're just trying to draw Cleveland off sides.
That's terrible.
And then they snapped the ball with like 15 seconds on the play clock and surprised everybody.
Yeah.
So supposedly the only people that knew it was an actual play was the line, the quarterback, and the receiver it went to. So because you look at the body language of the receivers,
Right.
and even the announcers were saying it, you can tell they're not calling a play by the body language of the receivers, except for the one.
Which was Tyreek Hill. And to go back to the Green Bay game, I mean, you can't cover a guy just like Devontae Adams on that touchdown.
Yeah.
That he beat Ramsey on. You can't cover a guy of that caliber with that short a distance.
Who knows where he's going.
That knows where he's going,
And you
and
have to
he's faster than you.
Yeah.
And doesn't drop passes.
Yeah.
At least in Devontae's case, I've seen Tyreek drop a couple passes, but I mean,
So-
there was no one that was
only
going to be able to
because
cover
only
him.
because he's that fast.
So what are we?
Well,
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's-
times, to be fair, he has to wait for the ball a lot of times.
He's really quick.
Although not from Mahomes has got a gun, but Tyreek can outrun
So
anybody.
So what do the Browns? What are they missing, or what is KC missing? If you think KC is about to lose,
It's not what the Browns are losing, or missing. It's what they're going to have to let go. And I don't think OBJ or you're right. You mentioned something earlier in the week, and that actually makes sense. You
got a
kind of
plan,
do.
yeah.
You kind of need him on the field to take
in
away
games
this,
like those, in games like KC, when
to draw attention, you're saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like but it didn't work out for
and
New
he could
Orleans
still
and Mike Thomas.
he could still produce though.
but I think like you said, he was hurt. Like he was clear, and it did work to some degree because Traquan was the one scoring.
Well, that's
so there
because
was-
he's a UCF product. I
Of
mean,
course.
we knew that.
skill players at UCF. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think with that he has to still use the same targets he used now without OBJ. But you already know when OBJ is on the field, he's going to get targeted. He might be double covered in certain instances. But those people that you would use this year to get as far as they went to, they have to still be a part of the equation. Most of those times pre-OBJ, he would get the ball a lot of the time.
Let me propose this to you, Dr. Brown. OBJ, they cut him because I think he's a cancer. Honestly, I think the Giants did a fantastic job letting him go. I shouldn't say cancer. He's a distraction. Let's say he's a distraction, right? He's got off the field issues. He's got a bunch of shit going on, pun intended. And you get rid of OBJ. What if you can get rid of OBJ and have Allen Robinson in his place? Do you take that? No.
So I
Would you
tell you
want
what's
from
going to happen.
You wouldn't take Allen Robinson over him. Somebody who will draw all that attention, but is a more focused, dedicated receiver and not a
I
distraction
mean,
off the field?
If you're asking me whether I would like Allen Robinson, yes. Would I like to pay Allen Robinson what he's going to demand? No, because I think our offense was not the issue most games. I think what's going to happen with OBJ is they're going to find another team. They're going to trade him for a first round pick.
You think he can still get a first round pick?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Because here's why. He had tons of issues in New York. I agree with all that. In Cleveland, if you look, they don't see him as a cancer. They actually were saying with him, we beat KC. He's been a pretty, corporate guy in Cleveland. He's kind of called out their crap when they had that loser's mentality. Mm-hmm. I think somebody will value. And you look at some teams that are going to have to, because first of all, there's a ton of wide receivers leaving teams this year. Right. Because you've got Michael Thomas who's up, you got Chris Godwin that's up, Antonio Brown is not signed, Allen Robinson is not signed, Kenny Galladay is not signed.
That's a huge one too.
Yeah. So I believe somebody is going to trade a first round pick for OBJ, and if I'm the Browns, I trade him and try to draft Devontae from Alabama or one of the better receivers that gives you that spread. And pay him a lot less.
I should, to be fair to OBJ, I think if you put OBJ on another team that has another dynamic wide receiver that doesn't tolerate the bullshit, then I think OBJ can flourish. When he's the man, so in Cleveland, he's the man, and Jarvis is actually,
Jarvis is a really good piece, but he's not a game breaker.
Is a great receiver.
Yeah.
So you put OBJ on another team with somebody who's just as volatile, like a Juju Smith-Schuster, somebody else who's
Juju's another one who's probably not signing back with the Steelers.
Right. If somebody else that, feeds off the antics and then it just, gets into this crazy blow up situation, you put him on a team like Arizona, maybe, where DeAndre Hopkins is work, and leave all your crap at home type of player.
Yep. You put him on.
Maybe OBJ does.
OBJ has always wanted to play in New England. You put him there with Belichick. Maybe he's controlled.
But again, you're looking at it, he still be the number one receiver there. Although they did, they calmed down. Randy Moss was starting to act a little bit of a fool in Minnesota. Yeah. And he calmed that down.
Well, I like OBJ, so.
Yeah, I like OBJ too. I just feel like if we trade him, we'll save $15 million, pay a rookie and a rookie contract, be able to sign Nick Chubb.
I think that's a better. It's a better.
You're dreaming plan. If you're getting Devonta Smith though, where you're selecting.
Well, I mean, we'll have two number ones.
Yeah, trades.
So we could trade up maybe for a number one pick.
You're gonna have to get in the top 5 to get him. Talk about one of the most dynamic receivers,
especially
ever
coming off the great
football.
year that you guys are coming off of. That is going to be kind of tough.
I think the Browns, though, if what they really need is they need to get healthy, and they need to get some linebackers. So we do gain back our number 1 pick from last year, who tore his Achilles heel, who should be a bona fide safety. He was an LSU grad, and I'm blanking on his name. And then we get Greedy Williams back, who's a comparable corner to Denzel Ward, who is coming off of an ACL injury. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. But I think if the Browns are missing something, it's probably more on the defensive piece.
Yeah.
And I don't think KC is missing much.
We don't even have to go into that. Yeah. I don't think KC is. You know what? They're missing, they're starting running back in the fold. That's about it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Unless CEH is going to come around.
Good defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, great quarterback, great receivers.
He just needs to heal up.
Best tight end.
If he's going to heal up.
Good
that was a
line.
hell of a hit. It was a hell of a hit he took.
Yeah. That hit was weird because if you watch, his head never hits the ground. His head lands on the ball. I thought it was more of maybe like a strangulation type of injury.
I mean, he got up
really dazed, and I was like, wow, did they cut off the blood supply? Because he kind of, if you watch, he was kind of choked when he went down.
He got up like he was 10 drinks in, staggering around,
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the last game then. The battle of the old men.
The battle.
The Bucks.
TB12 versus DB Gone.
What do you say? What do you say? I mean, it's good old Tom. Good old Tampa. Tampa, they call him,
Yeah.
Good old Tampa.
I think the Bucks and I kind of mentioned this, it's hard for a team to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah. And you mentioned it.
But Breeze, I mean, you can tell that he's at the end. I mean, his arm strength is just not there. It reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning in his last year.
It's a great comparison. And the fact that Michael Thomas was really that
banged up.
You can tell that offense really does need that solid number one receiver.
Yes.
And nothing against. I actually think Traquan Smith is a fantastic receiver.
He's a really great.
He's not
at
a
what he
number one.
does. He's a straight runner and throw the ball to me. He's Brashard Perryman all over again, but he fills the role very well.
Yeah, I think New Orleans got old fast. Breeze, Cook. Some of the guys on the offensive line, some of the guys on the defense. How old's Cam Jordan? Cam Jordan's got to be getting up there.
Yep, he's
You
30,
got your
33,
Graham.
34.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Did you
right.
say Jimmy Graham?
No.
I thought you said Jimmy Graham. I was like, oh, that's
Chicago.
That's
You're
New
bringing
Orleans. That's New Orleans.
Yeah, you're
A
bringing
while ago.
So, what do you think New Orleans is missing?
Oh, I see why I did say Jimmy Graham.
Did you?
He's
did.
at Chicago. You're thinking back.
Yeah.
You're thinking back.
Jared
But
Cook.
Good point, because we said he should retire.
They're
in
old.
Chicago.
They're old.
What do you think they're missing? Because I think Breeze is done. I think after the game, if you saw the meetup of Brady and Breeze, and they hugged each other, and Brady threw a pass. It was a touch. Honestly, I can't stand Brady. It's a touching moment, classy move, and to me, I think it looks like Breeze is
on his way out.
Yeah. I mean, unless he pulls a Brett Favre and comes back 15 times over the next 15 years, I think
doesn't seem to be that kind of guy though.
No, he doesn't. And I think he should hang him up. He's had a hell of a run, and it's unfortunate he can hang his hat on the fact that they probably should have been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years if it wasn't for
Bad calls.
two terrible calls.
Right.
And this year you could just tell they were missing. They were just missing something.
And he took a pretty good blow this year, right near the end.
Broke
of
11
ribs.
ribs.
You don't.
It's like almost as many ribs.
I'm not
as
saying
have.
you don't
Holy
come
crap.
back. Yeah, you're
It's
right.
a full
right,
rack.
A full rack.
Full rack.
That's a full rack. So
Man, you're all making.
it's
me
kind of hard to
hungry.
come back. It's kind of hard to come back.
Yeah.
Did they
the
make-
end of the season when he's really needed, and he's been out, so he's not
Yeah,
practicing.
but
with
what
the
does
team
New
leading
Orleans
up
do
to-
next year? I mean, are they going with Jameis Winston, who showed promise?
Well, here's the thing. I think Jameis would have been great had he been behind Drew a lot longer than he has been.
Maybe.
And I mean, how couldn't you?
They
You
got to
know?
make a decision though, because they don't have the rights to him next year. They have to re-sign him.
But you're also talking about a guy in Jameis Winston. What was that season that he had a couple years ago? Was it 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns? The first person ever in NFL history. I mean, how do you throw 30 interceptions? It's 2 a game.
But Arian's system is a system where the quarterback will throw interceptions. Brady has never thrown more interceptions than he did
Has
in
touchdowns.
this year. It's just partly that system, and partly he's reckless as hell. But he led the league in yards that year, and he was 30 touchdowns is nothing to sneeze at. So I feel like maybe he can be reconciled. I think he offers more than Taysom.
Yeah, I think so too. Because, Taysom Hill,
Be a great slot receiver.
and he looks like, Taysom looks like one of those guys that they're going to figure out the gimmick. The NFL is great at figuring out gimmicks.
I believe
That's
next
why
year.
certain guys aren't in the league anymore. Colin Kaepernick and some other guys that they kind of figured out that gimmick of, hey man, you're all legs. Good luck standing in the pocket and passing. Taysom's not going to. He's not going to live up to the challenge of standing in a pocket all day
and passing the ball.
passing.
I think he'll be taking over for Julian Edelman in the Patriots next year. His slot receiver. I think he'd be a great slot receiver.
I do
He's
too.
fast. He can catch.
He's hard nosed and he's
Yeah.
tough to bring down too.
Yeah. And then you can use him as a gimmick play as a quarterback, but at least it gets him on the field every play. Why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't somebody, unless he just is desperate to be quarterback?
Yeah.
I'm desperate to make money. I don't care what I do.
So you think Taysom Hill would probably not still be backup quarterback behind Jameis Winston, or they would use him still in the?
I mean, they've signed him, so they have him.
Yeah, no, they still have him. They would definitely use him, but I like the I like the idea of using him.
Yeah, I just
how
want
they
to
should.
see him on the field more.
He's a gadget
He
player.
could play tight end, no, right?
Oh yeah,
Is he big enough? How tall is he?
he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah, so he could play tight end. But
Yeah.
I love.
I mean,
I
he'd
look
be
him
an
as.
undersized tight end, but he's still.
I
he's
look at him
strong.
as a Tyreek Hill. He's very quick, not that quick.
Yeah, I was going to say pump the brakes on that one.
but very quick, and he's a pretty decent receiver. He can still be used as a thrower. You know, I don't know. So
I think we glazed over part of that conversation.
So
Somebody
what do you-
mentioned ribs.
What do you guys think?
Do they
What do
make
you
diet?
guys-
Do they make diet ribs? I am.
So what do you think
starving now.
What do you think the Saints need? A new everything.
They need a Drew Brees
A new
immediately.
And they need another Drew Brees.
Yeah, I think that's how that team operates. I think without somebody who is willing to really get in there and, be the guy that's, he's had that same chant before every game for the last how many years has he been in New Orleans? 13, 14 years.
feels like forever.
They need that leader in the huddle. And that's why I questioned Jameis. Because when Jameis should have been the leader in Tampa Bay, he wasn't.
Yeah, he has not shown. I believe he's got the skill. I don't believe he's got the leadership.
And he was
ability
by
yet.
far the most talented and athletic player on that Tampa Bay squad, and he still wasn't able to lead them.
Yeah. Okay, let's move in. Are you guys ready to move into? So I was going to ask you guys a question here. We'll try to do this pretty quick before we get to our picks. But who is your favorite all-time NFL player? And it doesn't have to be on your team, but I suspect that it will be on our
teams.
Yeah.
All time, you said?
All time.
Oh man, number one is too hard. One is too hard. You can't
So give
top
me give me
three?
two.
top three. Top
You got
two?
3. Okay, give us 3.
All
You got
time.
3.
All time.
Is Daniel
All
Jones in
right.
there?
No.
Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley,
No, not at all. Not at all. You ready for this?
and Evan Ingram.
No, I have to say
It better be Mark Bavaro.
say
Evan Ingram.
number one. You guys wish. Number one. I think I could probably go dig a little deeper, but I'd like Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Just give me the damn ball.
Give me the ball, and I'm going to do something with it.
You know what I loved about Chad Johnson? He got to be a bit of a distraction towards the end of his career, but that dude had so much heart and put in so much work.
That's
And
the thing.
That
You
guy,
know that
that guy wanted the damn ball.
No.
I mean,
You know who his nephew is, right?
Who is it?
Michael Thomas.
Oh,
is that his
really?
nephew?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
Michael Thomas is from the Ohio State University.
And he also put up.
Yeah, he put up
the
0
O
with
the
two
O in
with,
that.
with 2 broken knee. I mean, he should not have been out there. He did not look himself.
I'm pissed at Michael
Let
Thomas.
me give you
he
a number
cost me
2.
potentially
did he cost you,
$50,000.
or did you cost because you started somebody with broken legs?
No, I mean they didn't let on how injured he really was.
And you ready for these? You ready for this one?
Yeah.
This is interchangeable, and I'm not either LaDainian Tomlinson or Reggie Bush in the primeness.
LT is my third favorite running back of all time. I was a
LT.
huge LaDainian
Come on
Tomlinson
now.
fan.
Come on now.
You know what? I don't think anybody has ever hit the hole quicker
Come on now.
and just kept that breakaway speed and was gone.
Gone.
But was also elusive. He could turn the corner. He just, in my mind, all the images that I replay from watching LaDainian Tomlinson was hit the hole, gone. He had a ton of big runs
And you
throughout
ready
his
for
career.
this one? Last one. Eli Manning.
God.
Can I give you something? Can I just say this? You don't get a more durable quarterback than an Eli Manning. That guy played every game outside of.
So you've never heard of Brett Favre then, apparently.
Well, I have, but you know what I mean. He never played for the Giants.
Eli
So,
Manning.
Had an expression I wanted to smack.
like,
It's always like,
he
weird
didn't
look
play
on his
but
face.
Brett Favre's never played for the Giants, so
Yeah.
that's. I mean, that's the other G.
One
That's
of,
the
one
other
of
G.
the, one of the
That's fair.
funniest things.
That's the other G. I'm sorry, guys. I had to.
That's
do
fair.
that.
One of the funniest quotes I had read was after the Giants took Eli Manning Jr., Daniel Jones, in the draft.
Yeah.
It was Daniel Jones looks like the guy that they would cast to play Eli Manning
You're right.
in a movie about Peyton
Peyton
Manning. Hysterical.
okay, so Mark, who are your I guess we can just do 100. But
It's my little guy here. It's sweetness,
sweetness.
Man. He's the reason why I'm a Bears fan. I
So
mean,
is he your number one favorite running back?
Favorite running back, best running back of all time. I mean, we can have this debate. I know you're a Jim Brown fan, I'm sure.
No, I like Brown, but I think there's honestly 6 that would have to be in that discussion.
Yeah, Barry Sanders, obviously. I hate bringing Emmitt Smith into the conversation because if he didn't have that offensive line, Emmitt Smith is
right.
pedestrian.
I don't think Emmitt would be in my top 6.
No, I mean he doesn't make mine, and it's funny because he's the leading rusher of all time. But it took him how many seasons? 22 seasons.
There's a lot.
He had to go out to the desert to beat. Hand it to Barry Sanders at least for bowing out.
That's one of mine.
Mentioning, he said that Walter Payton was his idol, and he didn't want to break Walter Payton's record in the situation that he was in, and that was not loving where he was playing and gave him a distaste for football.
I think Sanders may have been the best running back of all time. Had he played more seasons, had he loved the game the way you have to love the game.
Right.
Talent wise, I'm going to say Barry's up there, but
Barry or Bo before his injury. Bo Jackson.
Bo was incredible.
Yeah. Bo was a fast, knock you over if you got in his way, elusive.
You're talking about
and breakaway speed too.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy could run you over, or he could run by you.
Yeah.
Anyway, good old Brandon.
That's another topic for another.
Brandon Jacobs over here.
Back to my guy, just to give him a couple more props.
My guy.
He's the reason why a South Jersey boy like myself didn't grow up an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
I grew up a Bears fan because of sweetness.
Well, that and the Eagles are trash.
Yeah, next.
Sorry, Anton.
Next.
So do you have any other players, or is it always just all the way sweetness?
He's by far my favorite player. I mean, but there's a lot of big personalities that went through the Chicago system that that I love. Singletary, Urlacher, Urlacher.
Yeah.
I love Allen Robinson. I just think outside of this this drama these last couple months with him, but to his credit, he's not being used like he should.
He's going all Bears, full Bears. I didn't do that, but what about you?
You didn't.
What about you?
So I'm going to give you one old and one young. I'll give you my young first.
Okay.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. The homeless guy that told Haslam to draft Johnny Manziel. No. That's a true story, by the way.
That is a true story.
And listen what happened. Look where it got him.
Yeah. I think Nick
Thanks,
Chubb,
homeless man.
That's why you should own a TV if you're going to give advice.
I think Nick Chubb is a special running back, special player, keeps his mouth shut, works harder than anybody on the team, will not go down, breakaway speed. Now, I will say he dropped 3 passes that killed the Browns in that game.
I know, I was texting you. I was like, get him out.
I don't understand why you don't put Kareem Hunt, but that's not on Chubb. That's on the coach because that's not Chubb's skill set yet.
They believe in him.
Part of that's got to be on. I mean, he's a professional. The guy should
yes.
Two of them were blatantly easy drops.
He should have caught 2.
The one was in a lot of traffic, but had
he still caught it, it would have been.
And had he
they were perfectly set up screens, perfectly.
Yep,
great call. But
oh no,
I look at Chubb.
He dropped screens.
He dropped 3 screens.
Yeah. Well, 2 screens.
We're not talking down the field. We talking.
He ran like that little.
We talking like stay near. So I could dump this off to you, kind of.
Mayfield has a propensity to
like an extended handoff, like
throw the ball pretty hard though. I mean, Mayfield doesn't always have touch. Very accurate. Doesn't always have touch.
Yeah.
But I think Nick Chubb is special. Just a special running back. And then the old that I like, and really he led the Browns during some of our glory years.
Reggie Langhorne.
I liked Reggie Langhorne, but no, it was the Mad Stork. And we called him the Mad Stork because never has a less athletic-looking quarterback done as well as Bernie freaking Kosar.
So I read an interesting stat on Bernie Kosar one time. His average rushing yards per attempt was 0.01 or something incredible.
He was kind of looked like the guy you'd drink a beer with.
But you're a consummate pocket passer.
Yeah, but he was a great, and he was
almost
brilliant.
Like Ben Roethlisberger, but not really.
No, Roethlisberger was mobile in the beginning of his career.
Yeah, he couldn't run.
Bernie could never run.
Bernie was somebody who could dissect a field, understood a defense, knew how to call, knew how to use motion to get a guy open, gutsy as hell.
And he rocked the perm.
Yeah, he rocked the perm, but he got us to 2 AFC championships.
And should have won Denver, right? Should have beat Denver, but
both were against Denver. They had the fumble and the drive, which are, when you hear those, you just Google the drive or the fumble. They broke my heart in the early 90s.
And he played with one of my favorite wide receiver tandems of all time. Best names for a tandem of wide receivers, and that was Reggie Langhorne and Webster Slaughter.
Webster Slaughter. Gosh, what a great name. Anyways, so those are my 2. How about we get in for the last part of our show into the pick section? Actually,
You're not going to ask mine?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gabby.
Oh, she's back there Googling. She's
Gabby?
got them.
Yeah, she's got. She's.
I'm not Googling.
These are going to be Steelers. I know. I like this Steeler. I never
So
heard of.
You're a Steelers. You're
Wow.
a Steeler. You're a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I looked for what time the Steelers playoff game was last week. I didn't see it.
Oh wow! Hey, listen, they're still
ouch.
getting me. They still getting me. They're like, oh, did the Giants?
Ew.
Did
It's
the Giants
cute.
make the playoffs?
It's all right, Rocky. You can go ahead and have your moment this year with the
no.
Browns.
We're here to stay.
Yeah. One of
All right.
my favorite.
Who are they? Who are they?
Fantasy
How many-
names is Big Ben's.
How many
Bath and
Super
Buddies.
Bowls? Remind me again.
We've won 4 NFL championships. Prior to Super Bowls, there were championships we won.
They are
Okay.
called
Oh,
Sixburg.
my
Okay.
gosh.
They do have
Still
6.
less than the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got a point there.
Anyways, go ahead. Who are your favorite players?
But I think all 6 of them were before you were born. So there's
Yeah.
that too.
Hey,
The Super
hey.
Bowls?
Yeah.
No.
Just kidding.
She watched one when
She's
they beat
not that much of a
Arizona.
They beat
spring
Arizona.
chicken.
Yeah, they beat
That
Arizona.
they should have lost. They should have lost that game.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, whatever. It
You know why
doesn't
they won
matter
that
if
game?
If I was alive or not, that doesn't dictate whether or not they won.
Because of a bad call in the back of the end zone with Santonio Holmes.
The Ohio State
Said
University, Santonio Holmes. Just saying, no skill players. Just anyways,
I just,
Get 'em.
listen. You came at me with the.
talk about. Tell
I
us
mean,
your favorite
You're
players.
on your little 15 minutes of fame this year,
Oh,
so
it's
I'll
going
let
to
you
be
have
15
it.
years. 15 years of fame. But go
factory of
ahead.
sadness.
You better mention Kevin Green.
Actually, it's probably nobody that you guys would think I would say.
All right. Who would you?
Juju Smith-Schuster.
No,
Terry Bradshaw.
no.
Let's just keep guessing.
Marshawn
until we get-
Lynch.
I actually modeled my throwing motion after Terry Bradshaw when I was young.
Huh.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's pretty bad.
I was gonna say, and that's the reason why
Yeah,
you're doing a
we're
podcast.
I do like Terry Bradshaw though.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do it.
It's James Harrison. He's no longer a Steelers.
Ah,
He was the guy that got all the interceptions in that.
I met him
Oh,
actually.
really?
Nicest guy you will ever meet. I went
also
to.
the biggest guy you'll ever meet
He's
too.
huge. I was a kid when I
Yeah.
met him.
Oh, he was super huge to you then.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I got the chance to see Steelers training one year, and none of them
Nice.
came by, saw anybody, talked to anybody while we were there all day, except for James Harrison. He came by, and he went down a line of probably 150 people at least,
Signed everybody's autograph.
talked to every single person, signed every single thing they had.
See, now there's
That's my
a
kind of
role
guy.
model.
Such
That's how
That's my
athletes.
kind of
nice
guy, yeah.
guy.
That's my
I
kind of
never
guy.
forgot.
Yeah.
There
how
it is.
nice
Look
he
what
was.
it's done. Look
Yeah.
what it's done.
There you
right
go.
there.
That's what they used to
Impactful.
say about Bo Jackson. So
Yeah.
one of my dad's friends used to tell a story when I was younger, going to a Royals game. And he said that Royal spring training game. So imagine, spring training, there's usually 200 people outside waiting for autographs to be signed. And he said, Bo Jackson came out and he addressed the crowd. He said, guys, I have a splitting headache, but if everybody, just kind of respects that, I will sign each and every one of your autographs. George Brett comes out, beers in his pockets. He's like, dude, let's get out of here. Come on, we're going to go party at spring training. Bo's like, no, I owe it to the fans. And Bo stood around for the next hour and a half and signed everybody's autograph, took pictures with them. So that James Harrison, I
Jackson.
love people. I love athletes like that.
That was
Well-
my first and maybe was not my only encounter, but it was my first encounter with a professional football player that, like, especially him, is a massive guy.
Right.
And he looks like he would be me,
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect him to be so nice.
He was in
And
my favorite commercial this year, too.
He's such a nice guy.
It was a
He
good
really
commercial with the super fan that
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
A real life tackle from.
Well,
James
I mean,
Harrison.
that does make a difference. And
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson just did that. He lost that game, and there were Bills fans and Ravens fans sitting right outside where the plane. He took the time,
Yeah, I don't think
slid
Lamar
the-
Jackson's a bad guy. I just
No,
think
I
he's
don't. I don't think so.
Oh, no, I'm
either.
just saying how much it means to fans when
Yeah.
you take the time out to,
Well, it meant so much too. I don't know if you read, but a lot of Bills fans immediately got online and donated to Lamar's charities
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
well, that's
a lot to be
probably
said.
because of the interception he threw. But
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe.
all right, let's
the
go.
picks.
Let's go into our picks, and let me first. I don't know if my mic's is up or not, but
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
Well, maybe I don't have it turned up, but we are going to be talking first about where we're at, and everybody had a pretty good week last week. We had myself, I finished 3-1. Phil was 4-0. Delano was 3-1. Mark was 3-1. Gabby was 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
So
Better than
Still
Shawnee.
better than Sean.
yeah, still better than Sean.
Better than Shawnee.
So in our rankings, it goes. I'm at 65% right now, which
Our mission should be to get Sean so boiling that he wants to come back on the show to.
He might not make it.
Defend
He
his
put
honor.
on. He
Well,
might
I
put on
literally
like
I picked based on. Well, I'm just gonna choose pretty much opposite. What he said.
yeah. But if Shawnee
Nice.
keeps up on the way he is, he might not make it into
Shawnee-
the show.
Sean Blackburn is in last place with a 0% win total. So in NFL picking, much like his UCF Knights, his proclivity in the bedroom, and his NFL team, the Cowboys,
Yes.
and his NFL team, the Cowboys, Sean leaves a lot to be desired. So
Ooh.
Shawnee Blackburn, way to go. It's hard to be 0. It's hard to have a 0 percentage point, but you've done it. So good job.
Well, he'll add it on in pounds. So.
Yeah.
The proclivity in the bedroom too.
Wow.
Yeah. I may have texted this speech to him already.
So he already
Did you?
knows what's coming.
Well, he may know it's coming. He can't stop it. It's like a train.
And not only that, he won't know for at least another hour or two because I think he
Yeah.
has AOL dial-up. for
Oh wow.
So
he
let's
responds so late to all the text messages.
talk to let's pick these games. And the first game we've got is the Bucks and Green Bay, and the Buccaneers are getting 3.5 points.
I have my
Before
friend-
anybody says anything, I want to go because
Go.
then
Yeah.
it's true. Then
Jared
you know
has
I'm not-
already. Jared King has already picked the Bucks
Ah,
Well, why'd you do that?
why'd you tell her? Gabby wanted to make
because
sure
he's
that
the
she
biggest
wasn't just
Tampa
going,
Bay fan. So we know.
Oh,
he's-
so
Well,
that's obvious. That yeah.
Listen, my boyfriend's a huge Tampa Bay fan, so I got to pick the Bucks.
Bucks. All right. So
Otherwise, my relationship will be in jeopardy.
Gabby goes Bucks. Waiting to hear from Phil and Antone. Delano, what do you think? The
I'm
Bucks
gonna
are
do
getting
this. I'm gonna
3.5
do this.
points.
I'm gonna do this. Sorry, Erica. She wants me to probably go with the Tampa Bay Bucks,
You're
but
going.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think
If you hyped up Green Bay this
That
entire
Green
show, and
Bay-
you go with Tampa Bay.
we'll actually cover that.
It's the Battle of the Bays.
It is,
I think that,
and it used to be a battle of the NFC.
Is Green Bay on a
the
lake?
NFC
and
North.
this is why I
Is
would
Green
tell
Bay
you
on a
that.
lake?
This is why I'm gonna tell you that.
Are
This-
they on a lake, Green Bay?
But it's a
Listen.
large lake, large enough to have
Well, it's
a
Here, I'm gonna
Florida,
give
so
you
it's
my reasoning.
probably a what do they call
The
it?
Great
A
Lakes?
ravine. What
Yeah.
are they in Florida? They're just those.
Let me give you my
retention
reasoning real
ponds.
quick and real quick.
Give me a reason.
I think that Tampa has the parts, can make the plays happen, but I don't think they've been together long enough to play against a team like Green Bay. And Green Bay does, they do drop balls a lot, and I don't mean literally. When they're in big games, they somehow don't pull it past this, but I think this year they have what it takes to beat Tampa Bay
All right.
and come out with the cover.
Mark, how about you? What do you think?
So again, let me go on record in case nobody remembers. I'm a Bears fan.
The Bears.
The Bears. I don't know, man. Green Bay. This is the best Green Bay's looked to me, and I don't know if it's
There
Aaron.
was a previous game, though, right? And in the previous game, the Packers lost 38-10 or 33-10 to the Bucks. So there's that. We have to consider that.
Okay, but still, I don't know, man. Green Bay. I think we kind of hinted on it earlier, and Aaron Rodgers is playing with a chip on his shoulder. how dare you not get me another weapon on offense when you know how good I am, and you go and you draft a quarterback because you think I'm unhappy.
And even a subpar, like I don't know that they drafted that quarterback would have been there a lot later. And
I think
like
so.
Daniel
So
Jones.
there was a lot of
anyways.
hype on him. There was a lot of hype going into the draft, much like Mitch Trubisky, where they, the Bears traded up one spot to, so no one else would get Trubisky with Mahomes and Watson and Christ, my grandmom's still on the board for crying out loud. I mean, anybody would have been better quarterback in Chicago. But Green Bay they look complete to me. Their defense is good. We can say Devin White on Tampa Bay's side of linebacker, but Zadarius Smith on Green Bay is fantastic. Their front four are really good. They have a young guy, Rashawn Gary. It's real good. I think they're going to get pressure on Brady. I think Brady is capable of making terrible decisions when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
And Green Bay's secondary is fast enough to pick off some passes when he's under pressure and tries to throw the ball away. And Green Bay's offense, you hinted to it earlier. Green Bay is hitting on all cylinders. Aaron Jones is incredible. Devontae Adams, there's not a better receiver in the game right now. The guy is just super dynamic. The tight end play, Rodgers is making other people good, much like Tom Brady did in New England.
And here's what I'll say real quick, just to wrap it up on that one. It's Green Bay, Tampa Bay. I will say always against Green Bay, it's a shootout for them. There's times where they take goose eggs and they may not produce where you want them to be, and that might just be on them. It might not be that the team is beating them. They could be beating themselves, but here, looking at them, Green Bay always will put up the points.
Well,
so.
These are old division rivals too. I mean, there's a storied history between these two teams. The
It's
Battle of
gonna
the Bays. The Battle of the Bays has been going on since I was a little kid, and before that,
I would say
I'm going Green Bay.
I would say everything on paper says you should pick the Buccaneers because the first time it wasn't even close. But if you take a deep dive into that game, and I'm running 65% this season with my picks.
Mm-hmm.
What a shameless plug.
I know, right? I mean,
I like it.
by far the best.
I like it, though.
10 points better than my closest rival. 65 points better than Shawnee Blackburn.
Whoa.
But anyways, here's what we forget about that game. Green Bay was up 10-0 against Tampa Bay. The next two possessions, they threw 2 interceptions, which is unlike Rodgers. Barely ever happens, but it happened back to back, and then the game got out of hand. You also had a situation where it was Devontae Adams' first game back from a major injury, and he was not himself, only had 6 receptions for 61 yards. After that game, Devontae scored 16 touchdowns after that game. That was the one game where he fell outside of the top 25 wide receivers the entire year. So it's going to be a different game, and I'm picking the Packers. Packers given 3.5.
And there was a really good read on Aaron Rodgers earlier this week too, where Aaron Rodgers can recall, because he beats himself up every time he throws a pick, even if it's not his fault. He recalls all of his interceptions. He's only got 89 interceptions in his career.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's
really. Jameis almost had that in a season for crying out loud.
Let's not even talk about Eli. But
right.
What do we say on this?
I don't think anybody ever would want to talk about Eli.
Hey,
Eli.
But look what he's got.
He's got 2 championships.
Got chips. The chips.
So let's talk about Buffalo versus Kansas City, and in this game, Buffalo is getting 3.
Okay.
Let's go.
I like that. Let them know.
It's because we get too wordy up here. You got to cut us off and just
let us know what you got.
I'm thinking about it. I really like buffalo wings, so I'm kind of leaning towards buffalo.
What about Kansas City ribs, though?
Wings are better.
Wow, you ribs. I like chicken.
Ribs are either
chicken wings
really
are my
good
favorite
or really
all-time
True.
favorite food.
That's true.
Is chicken wings, hot wings, buffalo wings.
Got you.
All-time favorite food. hands
So
down.
you're going Buffalo.
No,
I'm just looking for an answer.
Yeah.
And
I'm going with Kansas City only because I've heard, I feel like I've heard that they're good more than I've heard about Buffalo.
They won the
anything.
Super Bowl last year, so
Yeah.
they are good. Yeah.
So
And they were
I'm just
contenders the year before that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just gonna say Kansas City.
All right. How about you guys?
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I think I'm going to surprise myself with this pick here and go against what I thought I was going to do.
Yeah. You sound like you were going to go with KC.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you defending Super Bowl champs, Patrick Mahomes? But Mahomes is questionable. He's got a clear concussion protocol. Buffalo just looks really good. Buffalo looks like a championship team to me, and I would feel really bad for Buffalo if they didn't represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year, only because they played so well this year. Their offense is really good. Josh Allen stepped up his game. He got better than he was, and he was already really good. And that defense is good. And their secondary, but yeah, I mean, Travis Kelce, best tight end in the league, bar none. I mean, even if you watched the chemistry early in that game last week, Kelce breaks off of routes, and Mahomes knows when he's breaking off the routes. I don't know how they signal one another, but
Cleveland.
they do.
He's a Cleveland boy. Grew up rooting for the Browns.
He's good.
Really?
Though. He's great.
Traitor bastard.
He's
Well,
great.
you let one go there. And I mean, Tyreek Hill, it's hard to beat speed, but I think Buffalo's cover corners can get it done.
You don't have to beat him. You have to slow him down.
Yeah, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer. I want to go with my heart on this one. I'm going Buffalo because I want to root for Buffalo. I want to root for Buffalo during this game.
So I'm going to go Bills too. And my reason is who has looked better in the last 5 weeks? The Bills. It wasn't a runaway. The Browns were close even before Mahomes was out and really could have won that game. And KC has had a proclivity to keep teams in the game. And I think in this game against Buffalo, that's going to come back and haunt them. I would love it to be in Buffalo in the snow. That's
that'd be
not going to. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Might be Kansas City in the snow too, right? What's the weather like?
Kansas City, I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be as Buffalo's pretty much Canada. But I'm going to go Bills. Bills taking the 3.
Yeah.
With my pick, I'm going to choose the other New York team because we really don't count the Jets for anything, do we? Except for sharing a field with.
Who are the Jets? Are they the things that come into LaGuardia in New York?
That's exactly how the.
Doesn't New York Giants play in Jersey?
We yeah.
Yeah, there's no yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, but hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. You get there in like 15 minutes. Yeah, it's in. Jersey,
not only do they play in Jersey, but they play 25 minutes outside of New York City with no traffic. With traffic, they play 3.5 hours outside of New York City.
So then it would be the other New York team, meaning besides the Jets. Is what you're saying?
No. The New Jersey Giants.
Well, the Jets don't play in New York either because
the
Jets.
Hey, maybe
Giants,
after the mayor,
they split.
The
rent.
Maras
They're
may do
roommates.
that. The Maras may do that.
So you're going Buffalo.
So I'm going to go Buffalo. I'm going to go Buffalo.
You're going Buffalo, the only New York team. Good job.
So
cheers.
That's the only time we've ever heard that. Said no one ever but Mark.
So we will see how we do, and we look forward to ridiculing people that were wrong next week.
Well, I think we got ourselves a nice game.
This is the first time
weekend.
We have all 3 picked the exact same teams.
Did we? Wow,
So,
I'm surprised nobody was going with KC.
I did.
Yeah, besides Gabby.
Gabby did.
And Las Vegas is going with KC because they've given 3 points to.
So, but 3 points is the standard.
It's pretty much pick 'em.
So it is because when you're home, you automatically give away 3 points. So
yeah, but he's injured, and hopefully he comes back.
Well, here's the deal too. The concussion protocol, like they announced at the Cleveland game, he was playing this week.
Oh, I know.
It's a bunch of crap.
I
that
feel
guy
like the concussion protocol only applies to a certain
That's
amount
exactly
of players.
If you're like a tight end or listen.
So you think they're going to have him play?
I mean,
he's playing.
It's going to take him coming out with his cleats on the wrong feet for him not to play, and he would probably still play.
And I think a good hit. Once you have a concussion, to re-aggravate it It's not hard. Like, and I can tell you, Henny's not going to run for 14 yards against the Bills.
Well, no, Henny's not going to do what Henny did for an entire game.
No.
That was Henny just he sacked up.
All
and
he used.
He
in
did
that
not
moment.
look good. He threw an interception to a wide open Brown in the end zone.
Yeah.
He did not look good. He looked possible.
And that was he overthrew. Oh no, it wasn't Tyreek Hill, was it? No,
Overthrew.
It was
a
DeMarcus
misread.
Yeah, it was DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
So I have a proposal.
Go ahead. What's your proposal?
Before,
is it indecent?
do we have
pop culture reference?
Do we have Sean's picks yet?
Sean does not normally give me picks.
She's throwing down the gauntlet for Sean.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one below me.
Yeah. I'm okay with Sean being
You should
last place forever, to be honest with you.
No, okay.
Let's text him. Oh no, it's not going to matter because he's got AOL.
Well,
He's going to get back to us tomorrow.
we'll get his picks. Tell me his picks before I post this episode so he can't cheat and listen to what we say.
Can you
I just sent Sean my speech.
Can you call him? Can you FaceTime Sean?
Yeah.
And FaceTime him now, and then we'll throw down the gauntlet with Gabby.
Yeah, I
Should
have
we
a
do that?
proposal that if I beat him this week,
Hang on, let's
he has to participate in the weight loss challenge.
call him.
And he has to lose 30 pounds, same goal as me.
Yeah, but he might disappear.
Is my thing up? This is Sean on speaker, so
Let's see.
I don't know. He's going to pick up.
He's not going to pick
He's
up.
a coward. He knows.
He might not.
He's like, they're on air.
Should we
right
listen
now.
to his message?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Shawnee Blackburn. It'll something very white. I can guarantee it.
Hi, this is Sean Blackburn.
All right.
Okay. We'll cut
All
that
right.
out.
So,
Go Dallas.
Okay, well,
so I'll try to get Sean's picks.
yeah.
And what is your challenge?
If I beat him next week, don't tell him what the challenge is. Just
Okay.
tell him that I've got a challenge, and if I beat him next week, he has to participate.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep, isn't it?
How about if you beat him next week, he has to grow a full head of hair?
That he'll never do that.
I don't know that's possible anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he just
He's
shaved.
past that.
No.
He's past that.
No, it doesn't.
All right.
No, he has to
guys.
participate in the weight loss challenge.
Okay.
The Harry Styles weight loss
He
challenge.
believes participating is gaining weight.
No, and the participation is he has to lose 30 pounds. My same goal.
I don't.
Does Sean have
And if
30
he
pounds?
doesn't, he has to do the same penalty as we do.
I know Sean, the high school Sean and the college Sean. So
you-
he's definitely put on some weight. He's not overweight. I don't know that he has 30 pounds to.
Right, so you're saying if he loses the weight that you want and the head of hair that you want, he would look exactly like
Here's a better challenge.
Harry Styles.
If you beat him, he has to wear what Harry Styles is wearing
Well, I'm gonna let
in this poster.
we're gonna let Gabby talk about this with Sean, and they'll figure that out.
and wrap this.
All right. So tell them how to get a hold of us or where to watch us.
You guys know where to watch us. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on our TikTok, any social media platforms. You can find us on iTunes. I do believe Anchor, any of the major platforms for podcasts. And
Come on, guys, keep giving us support, man. We're only going to grow with more and more support.
and
If you-
critiques.
if
We
you
like
want-
critiques.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want in the show? What don't you want in the show? Bring it.
What
Bring
do you
it.
guys
We're ready
wanna
for
see?
it.
Except for me, I'm staying. So you can't say get rid of him.
Well, that's true. That's true. Can't get rid of.
I
Can't
bought
get
the
rid of them.
stuff. I'm here.
All right, guys.
right,
See you
guys.
next week.
Straight to my knees, yeah. It's like we holding on to what he's hating. Lackluster from the father, cause there's no relation. I'm told to tell you about a word from God, if not mistaken. That's why his name is always dropped in every conversation.